going to talk about the Night Sun Tarot by Fabio Listriani. This deck is a Lo Scarabeo. It's still in print. It is a darker deck, and the artwork is extremely beautiful and very ornate. There's a lot to look at, and there's a lot of positive reviews out there. So what I'm going to do what I normally do, show you every card, talk a little bit about what I know, and I've had this deck for about a year, and it is a really nice, it's a simple box. It's a very shiny box. It shows fingerprints. I'm going to open it up. There's even an alpha and omega on the flap. And I have the card that tells you that this is the deck we're looking at, and the back, which is not really reversible. And you have the little white booklet, which actually is it's like 64 pages, which is actually pretty substantial. Each card's talked about. It is in English, Italian, French, English, Italian, and French, Spanish, and Dutch. So that's why it's so thick. But it's a nice little book. So I think, let's see. Have I shuffled these? I believe I have. I have shuffled these so that they're a little bit out of order. So the back, not very reversible. The cardstock has some strength to it. Do they slide? Yeah, they do slide a bit. They do. There is some friction there. They are shiny and they do show fingerprints, but the coating seems like it's average, nothing spectacular. So let's look at the cards. It has over here. I know I've been reading about these a little bit about the deck beforehand, just to make sure I remembered everything. So this is the High Priestess. There's a Hebrew alphabet there, and there is a planetary symbol. Notice it's very dark, bird cage. It's almost like you have to cut the light on to see what's going on. And it looks brighter in the camera than it does when I'm looking at it. But there's an open book. There's an egg. There's some lettering there. Not too much to look at. All the cards are rather dark. This is probably the most criticized card because they say it looks cartoony. It does look a bit manga-like. Notice there's an egg that's broken. We have, again, the symbols and the Empress. The birdcage is broken. A few things going on. But yeah, the face does look a bit cartoony. The Emperor, a very interesting card. You can almost think that the red reminds me of the Magician. An eagle, ram's horns, a nice sunburst there behind the Emperor. But it looks like a Jesus figure with the crowns wrapped around his head. This deck does not really... There's nothing really Christian about this deck, but, you know, there is Christian symbolism all throughout any deck, if you look hard enough. More Hebrew alphabets. This is the Hierophant, and there's some sort of figures reaching up, a bull, two bull heads. So it's introducing more symbols than would normally be there to these cards. These are the lovers. We have the Jesus figure. It looks like the emperor figure, and then a child figure with wrapped courses, or a girl. And then I guess a Cupid with no face. And we have lots of Hebrew alphabet. As always, Pisces is, or Gemini is associated with the Lovers card. Chariot. It's a very dark card. I mean, it looks like some Silent Hill villain. White and dark horse. We have, again, the staff that keeps appearing with the cross and the circle. More Hebrew alphabet. We have Pisces associated with the chariot. Justice. Interesting card. It's very almost H.R. Geiger. And again, we have symbol Alpha Omega, the scales. We have a floating orb or an egg. Interesting dark card. The Hermit. It almost looks like some Aboriginal figure. The red cloak. We have a turban. And a snake. Wheel of Fortune. This one's interesting. It's almost like a steampunk ticker tape crossword puzzle sort of thing going on with a mechanical. It's an interesting take on it. Strength. We have again the typical lion that's shown, and a white lily, grass, a woman, and there's Hebrew lettering there. I can't read Hebrew. The Hanged Man. So I like to turn the Hanged Man upside down. He has a bird cage on his head. Looks like there's a tattoo or scarring. And the hands are crossed behind the back, and it's holding some sort of object. Death. Death is quite obviously a woman here with breasts, almost a pregnant, swollen belly. The legs are strange. You have the sickle, the skull face. Not too much going on. Temperance. Looks like an angel pouring a skull or a metal container with blood into a chalice that looks like another face. The Devil. Again, this one's female. We have two figures chained. Looks like a heart, a face there. Bahamut symbolized. Feathery wings. Breasts. Chains around that. The Tower. People falling out of the tower. It's oozing something. There's some scales there, which is different. Then the Star. A woman. Chain popping out of the earth. Some sort of vortex swirling. The Moon. This card's interesting because it looks like it can be reversed and it's the same person on either side. The Sun. Looks like two children. It's a very positive card. It looks like it's spinning almost with flowers, and we have the zodiac in the middle. Judgment. We have three women there. woman there with wings, sort of rising up. I guess the green symbolizes decay or death, but it looks like paint that's been dripped on them. It's different. The world, we have some sort of Shiva figure, and then it's very dynamic with the bursts and the geometric figures. Standing on the back of someone, maybe? And the minor arcana, it does follow the Rider-Waite, but the colors indicate typically the element, which is nice. Cups are associated with water, and that's what you see. And the blue is an ice. I like how the cards, some thought was actually given to creating the minor arcana. And, you know, it's not like someone actually did the artwork there. So, just like a Rider-Waite deck, you have, you know, significant artwork that's not just pentacles or cups just sitting there, which is kind of hard for anyone to read. I mean, you want something to kind of jog your memory. This one, the Knight of Cups, and most of them have the titles at the bottom, all of them do. And we have the symbols at the top. In this border, looking at the little details can tell you a lot. The size of the deck is pretty average. It's nothing, it's the typical tarot deck size. Nothing remarkable. But these are interesting, different takes on the minor arcana, which of course is, I think, is very refreshing. I do like it that it doesn't tell you what the card means in one word. But the artist gave thought to each one. And the artwork is extremely nice. It isn't terribly cartoony. It looks like something that would be in a comic book, but a well-drawn comic book. We have wands associated with fire. This card looks very interesting. Stilts, a skull mask. These flowers seem to be very prevalent when they appear. To be honest, even though some of these people look like they're being tortured, I don't think the idea is that they are being tortured, or that they appear to be, they're expressing, you know, torture. I mean, look at this one. I mean, even the background, it's so much to look at. And the fire there looks almost real the way it's drawn, painted. We have the swords, air. Interesting card with the swords trapping someone. Okay, and that's the last card. 78 cards, a normal deck. Oop. There were some cards hidden. I was not done. There were some cards hidden. Sorry. This is why I thought it was out of order. The Magician card, which I had completely forgotten about. Eyes rolled back. It almost looks very Matrix-like. You know, the typical symbols there. And then the Fool, which is my favorite card to actually look at and examine. So, no face. There's little devil horns there. We have the dog. So, dog is there. We have no precipice, but leaning down. We have arrows shooting down. I love the mask though, with like sort of the jester hat. Anyway, there we go. So, out of order. That's the Night Sun Tarot. Not too dark. Interesting artwork. Good artwork. It's a fine deck. Something different. But at first appearance it does seem a little sinister, but it's really nothing to be. It's just the artwork is kind of dark, and maybe there's a little bit of bondage thrown in there, but you know what? It's fine. It's a fine deck. So, thank you for watching. If you subscribe, I really appreciate it. I've noticed I've been getting a few subscribers, and that's awesome. But thank you for watching.